Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanine. So by now you all have heard what Ripple is doing in Brazil. We've been talking, at least here on this channel, we've been talking about Brazil and Latin America for the longest time and trying to tell everyone this is where it begins. This is where it starts. Now, we were talking about Brazil in correlation with Algorand, because Algorand is deep in that region via Koi banks. And we also were talking about Brazil in correlation with Stellar, because Stellar was in talks, you know, some CBDC talks down there. We'll see what comes to fruition out of that in the future. But the bank coins are deep in Latin America, especially Brazil, you know, having one of the largest digital banks, if not the largest digital bank in all of Latin America. So we had been talking about Brazil for a long time. And now out of nowhere, Ripple comes in and they do what it is that they are best at: setting up an on-demand liquidity corridor and ensuring that big money can come out of there into the bank coins. Not only big money coming out of there into the bank coins because they're one interoperable system, but making sure that everyone in that region can thrive as well who is willing to learn how to use the technology. Because in crypto, in all distributed ledger technologies, a rising tide raises all ships. Everybody wins. But let's just start here with a little bit of XRP news. This is on U.today. And it's titled, "Ripple's Biggest Critic Makes U-Turn, Calls Out SEC's Overreach." Of course, now everyone's coming out and they want to cheer Ripple on and hope that they defeat the SEC. But it's not without certain intentions, you know, veiled intentions, because they know the SEC is coming after everybody. And they need a precedent to be set legally that they can use if the SEC, if the SEC brings a case against them. And this is any of those entities out there, right? So now that Ripple has gone so far and shown they have deep enough pockets to battle the SEC, everyone is hoping that they have a victory so that they can set a legal precedent that will make cases easier in the future to battle against when you face the SEC. So they're hoping pretty much that Ripple throws them a bone. Oh my goodness. When it should have been much different. These companies should have backed Ripple in the beginning and saw that crypto as a whole, blockchain, distributed ledger technologies as a whole, are up against rogue actors within the legacy system. I have to say rogue actors. It's not everyone in the legacy system, because some are smart enough to know that the new financial system and new systems really as a whole are what is going to lead them to survive. They're dead without it. Make no mistake about it. That system is dead without it. And a lot of legacy system members know that. That's why they're pushing for the new financial system. You think that they want those actors in the legacy system to continue stealing their money? That's why they want traceability. The traceability only DLTs can bring. So they know this money went here at 2:30 p.m. and it arrived here at 3:30 p.m. Just as an example, you know, I'm just going to make up a name. Mr. Scott deposited this here, and Mr. Scottsdale received the deposit at this particular time. Everything is traced. That's just one part. This is one part. They need that. They want that. They don't want those rogue actors stealing everything anymore. And I think this is like that across the board, whether you're retail or you're a large business. Then security is an issue. A lot of people like to talk about, blockchain security, DLT security. But in reality, I mean, yes, bridge systems have certain issues, but not all systems are bridge systems. Hence, Quant, the millionaire maker. Yes. Gateless system, bridgeless system. Sorry about that. I don't know, it's gateless system. It's a bridgeless system. All right. But not all DLTs are the same, is what I'm saying. But the mainstream media, who for the most part serves the rogue actors in the legacy system, they try to brainwash everyone. They brainwash the people that everything is Bitcoin and try to make Bitcoin, that word, synonymous with all distributed ledger technologies, when in fact that is far from the truth. So now, yes, these critics are going to root for Ripple for a myriad of reasons, but Ripple is going to win. And that big money is coming. It's right there. You can see it. You can see the picture being painted, just like we knew. Like I said, you can ask any of the long-standing subscribers on this channel. We've been talking about Brazil for a long time. Look up Koi banks. I know a lot of people that may be invested in XRP may not know anything about Algorand. I understand. Look up Koi banks and what they're doing. Algorand is going to explode also. And I think Algorand is going to be very, very deep in Brazil. They're already deep in Colombia, El Salvador. So let's move on here. Let's move on here before I lose my train of thought. We have another article here. This is on the cryptobasic.com. And this one's actually about Brazil. It says Ripple launches crypto payment service in Brazil. We don't even need to read this one here. This is just where they're beginning. Understand that right now. This is just the beginning. Understand that it's going to take a web of banks for on-demand liquidity to work. The more banks linked up into the system, the better on-demand liquidity works. How does on-demand liquidity work? All those banks must hold XRP. You can go to ripple.com and look it up for yourself. Don't take my word. Don't listen to these outside sources. A lot of them are fudders. All of them must hold XRP in order to use the system. And that does what when you have so many banks holding XRP and pooling their money into, and yes, that's right. They have to pool their money into the XRP. That also can be found on ripple.com. So it's a fact. What does it do to the price of XRP when they're doing that? And yet you see the beautiful setup. Brazil, different places in Africa, Japan, Southeast Asia, Europe. And let me tell you, we win this SEC case. We will dominate in the United States. And we will take trillions of dollars from the legacy system who doesn't deserve it anyway. We're going to take trillions from them. And then the world is in the palm of our hands, yours and mine. You want a better house? You got it. You got a little tiny mansion? You want a bigger mansion? You got it. Better schools for your children? You got it. Better car? You got it. You want to lobby government? You can do it. You want to buy up farmland? The world will be in the palm of our hands if everything continues to go according to plan. We will dominate. All we have to do is get through this case. Just to bear witness to the setting up of the corridors in the United States. I'm energized. Yes, yes. Everything has been playing out right according to plan so far. It's looking beautiful in my humble opinion. Brazil is showing you giving you a taste. Just a taste. We will dominate. Algorand will dominate. Quant will dominate. Stellar will dominate. And XRP, Ripple, used by Ripple. They're already showing you the schematic. Putting it right there. For anyone who wants to read and do a little bit of research, they're showing you. Then we've been going over the bank documents. Do you see the money? Do you see the reason why they need the bank coins? They are failing. They need see some of the heads of the central banks. They want accountability for all of these commercial banks that don't know what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. The central banks themselves have been doing a terrible job. However, if you look in comparison to the commercial banks, holy smokes. What are the commercial banks doing? The commercial banks are a liability. And that's another reason why central banks are like, listen, we want CBDCs, distributed ledger technology. Sorry about that. I got a little tongue tied. Happens from time to time. We want to be able to trace everything. Everything is immutable. We want more security. We want lower costs. So now you as a commercial bank, you don't have any excuses. And just as a byproduct, a lot of people are going to come into generational wealth, possibly. They don't want the people to know that. Look how quiet they are on Quant. We're still up on Quant, even with Quant taking a little bit of a dip. We're still up greatly. But the media is not talking about Quant. Why? They talk about anything else when it's up. They talk about everything. Heck, they talk about meme coins when they're up, right? When they're doing good. But shh. No. They're not talking about Quant. Shh. They'll talk about Ripple when it comes to the case, but shh, don't talk about XRP when it comes to utility. No. Why? There's a reason for that. They don't want the new rise, the rise of the ones who will be changing the world. Make no mistake about it. They don't want that. They know that the holders of these protocols, a lot of us are rebels. We do what we want, when we want, we buy what we want, we go where we want. We make our own rules and we're not brainwashed and we cannot be controlled. They're not prepared for us. They can't handle us, but we're coming. They can't stop it. Let's go here. This is a tweet from Ripple. And it goes as such. So proud to join our incredible partners in expanding place-based equity for Bay Area children and families. Hashtag East Oakland. Tupac used to live there. I get around. Round and round, round it goes. East Oakland. Let me tell you, look, Ripple, I'm very happy that you did something like this. I appreciate that. See, that's what I'm talking about. They are companies that are in balance. Ripple, Algorand, they have a balance. They understand to stay true to what the technology is. It benefits people at the top and people at the bottom. So you might as well shake people's hands at the top and at the bottom. Stellar, you're supposed to be the people's coin. Am I going to see some activity out of you soon? There should be activities from you on every level. You should be helping people. You like to help people, don't you? The unbanked. Here's some unbanked right here. There's a lot of people that were involved in this project. It says, hashtag East Oakland has a new kid designed play space, community garden and murals thanks to 250 plus volunteers. And at Eat, Learn, Play, at the Unity Council, at Kaboom, at Ripple, at Aisha Curry, and at Stephen Curry. Stellar, I'm looking at you. You take a lot of meetings with government officials, federal officials, state. You're on panels. You say you're here for the underbanked. You liquidate a lot of XLM. We'll see. Keep my eye on you. I'm still going to make a lot of money from XLM. Keep my eye on you, people's coin. This was a good activity here from Ripple. I like this. I respect it. They're helping people. I like that. Let's move on. Nothing else needs to be said about that. This is from Quant. Quote, appropriate regulation should be a force for good. It can put in place the infrastructure to complement our existing systems. Listen, everyone knows this who has been studying the monetary policy, keeping up with all of the security breaches of the legacy system, not just the banks, but the NBFIs as well. You just saw what happened with Capital One, where they had this giant case that ended, I think it ended like last year. There's supposed to be people supposed to get payouts very soon, where they were breached and so much data was stolen. This has been happening everywhere in the legacy system. So people, we know that there's a security issue in the legacy system, but once again, news media, mainstream news media, shh, they don't want to talk about that. No. They need the new system more than you could ever imagine. Every empire rises and it also falls. Never think that they can't. Never think that they're not in decline. And this, well, at least a portion of this particular legacy system, they want to survive. And they need what we have because of that. If not, London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Yeah. We used to sing that song when we were little. I can't remember any other lyric. Do you? London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Oh, wait. It was like My Fair Lady or something like that. We used to know all of those songs when we were little. Let's move on here. This is the article from thecryptobasic.com. Why are people so afraid of joining the crypto world? Well, let's just read a little tidbit here. Most people in the crypto world don't understand why others are skeptical. Yes, we do. Where do you get this type of statement from? Yes, we do understand why they're afraid. I'm going to tell you why right after I read what you're going to say. It says scams, hacks, and other security issues. It's only natural to fear hacks and scams in the crypto world because they only happen in crypto, right? You mean people aren't getting scammed every single day by the millions online? Have you seen what's going on with regular fiat? They're getting ripped off and scammed. With their regular credit cards, their regular debit cards, they've been getting scammed and ripped off all over the place. You got to be careful where you use your stuff. As a matter of fact, with certain systems, they can just rip your number right out the system, of the coding of the system, and you have a problem on your hands. So you have to even be careful, where you use your debit cards, credit cards, and stuff like that on so-called secure sites. And then even when you do get hacked on those particular sites, or rather those sites get hacked and, hackers steal a bunch of information, they're still going to deny responsibility, right? Legally, they're still going to deny responsibility. It's going to be up to a judge to determine that they owe you something, right? So like I said, I just referenced the case, and I believe that's what happened in that particular case. Scams, hacks, my goodness. Listen, let me just jump right to the point here. Why are people so afraid of joining the crypto world? Because the news media, mainstream news media, told them to be afraid. For years, they've been brainwashing the people to be afraid. And they utilize Bitcoin as the biggest fear tactic. Oh, so many people lost their money in Bitcoin. Oh, crypto's going to zero. Crypto's a scam. When all of crypto is different. You have store of value coins. You have layer ones. Then you have smart contract platforms. They all serve a different function. They're softwares. They really convince people that these are like some sort of coins on the internet. Then they're not coins. They're not tokens. They are technologies. So the mainstream has massaged the minds of the people to be afraid of crypto. And then that spreads word of mouth. I remember talking to a gentleman, very wise gentleman, businessman. And he was telling me how someone he was related to was telling him, he said he wanted to get into Bitcoin, right? This is what most people know about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I asked him, I said, well, why didn't you get into Bitcoin, right? And he says, well, this other person in my family, very close person to him, let me say that, right? Told him, absolutely not, don't get into it. Bitcoin is a scam. Bitcoin is a scam? What? Somebody should have told Elon Musk that and all these other people. Don't get me wrong. They're going to sell and take profits. They're going to sell to balance things out with their businesses and such like that. But they got into it and they will get into it again. And I expect Bitcoin's price to explode in the future. To be quite honest, I said that before. And I don't hold Bitcoin. I don't have anything to do with Bitcoin. But I see what's coming. And it's going to explode. Ethereum as well. Although I do believe in the future. Listen, Hedera, HBAR, and Algorand, I believe, are going to cause some big problems for Ethereum. They're going to dominate as smart contract platforms. But until then, I expect Ethereum to explode at some point, probably some point in the near future. So what I'm saying is, circling back around, that's why people are afraid. They've had their minds washed with nothing but negative information about crypto. That's why. Simple as that. Crypto is no more dangerous than fiat currency if you don't know what you're doing with it. And most people don't. Heck, people are getting scammed just going to their stores and paying a hefty price. And this is before inflation. Paying a hefty price on products that cost almost nothing to produce. Right? They just don't have that knowledge that they're paying way too much for certain products, right? But anybody who actually has been in the business and has purchased those things like wholesale and such like that, and you see the price that you purchased the item for versus the average price that the market is selling the product for, Sometimes it's mind blowing. Let me just say that. It's mind blowing. Okay. So, my goodness. But anyway, even in that way, people are getting ripped off, scammed and such, you know. So, crypto, in my opinion, if you're wise, and you should be wise in everything that you do, is no more dangerous than using fiat currency and the regular legacy systems, in my humble opinion. But people are fearful of crypto because they've been told to be. And that's another thing that they don't want is the people being free. Them being free mentally. By all means, they're controlled right now. They are. And being free physically, being able to come and go as they please. Too many people would get rich off of crypto if they all were in the know and knew about the bank coins. Too many people would get rich, and then they would start, causing problems in the legacy system. They would have a little power politically, a little bit more power politically. If they wanted to, they could have a lot of power. So in a way, this is about power and control. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.